How do you reverse the effects of prednisone? Hi, I'm Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist, and I've successfully discovered how to reverse the side effects of prednisone. So, first of all, what are the side effects of prednisone that we need to know about? Well, I've personally suffered tons of them, and here's a lot of them that you can check out. They include moon face, osteoporosis and bone loss, mood changes, weight gain, and on and on. So, which of these are reversible and which of them are not? Well, the good news is almost all of the prednisone side effects are reversible. The exception being damage done from heart disease. So, prednisone increases your blood pressure and your cholesterol. And if those lead to damage to your cardiovascular system, that damage is irreversible. Damage to your bones, so actual bone loss, is irreversible. If that becomes osteonecrosis or bone death, that is irreversible. The only way to treat the bone death is through joint replacement. There are 30-something-year-old people who've gotten osteonecrosis from prednisone and had to get a hip replaced or a knee replaced or things like that. We do not want that side effect either. And in a few cases, a few people may have adrenal insufficiency, that their bodies are never able to make cortisol, which is the hormone that prednisone is mimicking. And so they become adrenal insufficient and are stuck on prednisone or a similar drug for life. But that's pretty rare. Most people are able to successfully make cortisol again later on in their lives. Whether that's a few weeks or a few months or a few years later, it is a reversible side effect for most people. So I want to share with you 7 ways to reverse the side effects of prednisone. First of all, the first way to reverse the side effects of prednisone is to not go cold turkey, but to gradually taper off the prednisone dose slowly over time. Because if you go cold turkey, that can be fatal. So we do not want to do that. We want to slowly decrease from 20 to 15 to 10 to 5, for example. Whatever dose taper your doctor does is great, but you need to slowly go off of it. The only exception is if you are taking prednisone for less than 10 days, max of 2 weeks, then you don't need to taper. 70% of people gain weight while on prednisone. So how do you reverse that? Well, weight doesn't magically drop off when you take prednisone. Just like when I had babies, suddenly 7 pounds of baby is gone, just instantly gone. That doesn't happen with prednisone. You legitimately have to lose the weight. But the best way to lose the weight is to not gain it in the first place, right? There's not a lot that you can guarantee you can do to prevent the weight gain, but there are a few things you can do that will minimize the weight gain. So, first of all, prednisone is actually stealing nutrients from your body. And one of the most important ones to know is chromium. Chromium is a metal mineral that your body uses to regulate your insulin and your blood sugar and your muscle mass. And all of those are really important factors in how much weight you gain. And so if you are losing chromium because you're taking prednisone, then you need to give back chromium, right? So eating a nutritious diet rich in the nutrients that prednisone steals is important. And that includes collagen. So foods that have collagen are generally meat and vegetables that are high in the B vitamins, the calcium, the potassium, the chromium, those things that you absolutely need to replenish because prednisone is stealing, you need to get from a nutritious diet. Next, I mentioned that osteoporosis is irreversible and the weight gain doesn't just fall off. So you need to adopt a great exercise habit. I don't mean go and run a marathon. I mean consistency in going walking every day, doing something that you're enjoying and can have a little bit of impact on your bones, can help you so that you don't feel so awful. It can help you have more energy. It can help you prevent the weight gain and hopefully prevent the bone loss. Because the doctors who prescribe prednisone the most, they only have a few recommendations to prevent osteoporosis. The first one is weight loss. Second is eating a balanced diet. Third is exercise. And then the fourth is avoiding smoking and avoiding alcohol. So those are the next important things to do, is to avoid smoking and avoid alcohol. Other things that you can do to prioritize your bone health that they recommend include replenishing the calcium and vitamin D that is lost by taking prednisone. So they recommend that everybody taking prednisone gets calcium and vitamin D every day. And it can be confusing. How much do you need? And if we also need chromium, how many pills am I going to take per day? And so that's one of the reasons I invented Nutrinized Zone. It's the first and only supplement for people on prednisone. And it comes in a morning bottle and a bedtime bottle. And it has the calcium in it. It has the chromium in it, plus the 9 or more nutrients that prednisone is stealing. They're all in here, and it's conveniently shrink wrapped together as the one and only supplement you need while taking prednisone. But I promised you 7 or more things you could do to reverse the effects of prednisone. The next important things to do is to manage blood sugar levels. So prednisone is a glucocorticoid. Gluco meaning glucose, and glucose meaning blood sugar. So prednisone is actually in a class of drugs that increases blood glucose. So we need to reverse the effects of prednisone by keeping our blood sugar levels steady. We don't want them fluctuating up and down. We want to keep them steady. And the most important thing you can do for that is to minimize your intake of simple sugars. We don't want to give your blood sugar swings. So avoid candy, avoid treats, and that's really tricky while we're on prednisone because our bodies crave sugar, right? We crave Oreos, the delicious simple sugars that are mixed with fat and salt. That means eat whole grains and make sure there's enough protein along with whatever carbohydrates you do eat, and good vegetables. And then avoid the simple sugars that are in drinks too, like whether that's soda pop. Definitely avoid caffeinated, like those high energy drinks. Definitely avoid those while on prednisone. And then, even simple fruit juices can be a problem while you're taking prednisone. But I have an amazing tip for you when it comes to the blood sugars while on prednisone, that you can avoid adding them. But another important thing is that prednisone is stealing chromium from your body. It is actually stealing this metal mineral that is vital for you to have stable blood sugars. And so if you give back that chromium, it's amazing. That can definitely help to support you with healthy blood sugars and healthy weight while on prednisone. Next, prednisone is an immunosuppressant. It is suppressing or pushing down your immune system. So if you want to reverse the effects of prednisone, you need to support your immune system. That means that you need to do whatever you can to stay healthy. That means getting restful sleep at night. Tricky while on prednisone since it's the number one drug that causes insomnia. You need to eat healthy foods like we've already mentioned, and make sure that those foods are immune boosting foods, that they are rich in antioxidants, vitamin C, zinc, and what you can find in dark berries and dark green leafy vegetables. You're more susceptible to getting infections while on prednisone. Things such as sepsis, which is a full body infection, are more likely on prednisone than if you weren't taking prednisone. So it's best to give back those nutrients that prednisone is stealing, like vitamin C and zinc. Again, you can get those in Nutrinized Zone, and I included the immune boosting ingredients that you need in here. Finally, taking prednisone is a very emotionally draining journey. It is so hard to see what you're seeing in the mirror change, to get the moon face, to gain weight, to look not only on the outside like a different person, but to feel like a different person on the inside, to have your emotions change, to have your moods change by a drug can be very confusing. And it can be really hard on your family and your friends and your coworkers because they don't understand what's happening to you. And so it's important to have open conversations saying, hey, it's not me, it's the drug. And seek emotional support, whether you need a therapist or a prescription drug to help cope. It's, again, not your fault. It's the drug. So get whatever help you need. I have an amazing video all about what your family needs to know while on prednisone. And it's actual tips from other people on prednisone about what they wish their family knew. And I have another video. It's all about how to cope with the mood changes from prednisone because it's not your fault. So get the support you need. And if meditating or deep breathing exercises are something you've never tried before, while on prednisone, they can be a vital way to reverse the side effects of prednisone because prednisone is artificially hijacking your emotions and it makes you feel like everything's an emergency. And so counteracting it by breathing can be amazing. So I highly encourage you to get the support you need. Tell your family, be in touch with your doctor. They need to know if you're suffering side effects that are intolerable to you. And you can reverse the side effects of prednisone by following these 7+ tips that I've shared with you. Signing off as Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist.